and in today's video I am going to be talking about all the books I read in the month of February. So let's just get into it. I'm going to try to remember the order I read these in, but let's be completely honest, not going to remember. So, okay, I read 12 books this month. Someone give me a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm not going to show you just yet because I want to surprise you. Okay. The first book I read this month, as says in my notebook, was Normal People. I rated this 5 stars. This book was, oh my god. Like, why did I put off reading this? Yes, it took me a while to actually sit down and read it because there was no like quotations or anything and I didn't really like that much. But it makes you read every little thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to be kind of fast. My camera is about to die. Anyway, I just started the video, but we don't have time. Normal People is about Colin and Marianne, and you basically just kind of go through their life. It's years. This little bitty book, years. And you know what? It gets frustrating. It does. But please, like, I beg you, you need to read this. I think everyone should read this book because, like, the message behind it is just so good. And I loved it, clearly, because I tabbed it really well. I do want to reread this again and go through and because I was listening to it, but I was also reading it. I was like going back and forth, so I didn't really, you know. But I think I'm gonna go and reread this at some point. The next book I read. Oh, I already messed this up. Okay. So that wasn't the first book I read this month. That was actually the second book I read this month. But we're just going to pretend like that was the first book I read this month. And this is the second book I read this month. Happy Place. I rated this one 3 stars. I was so hopeful. And I don't know why. Because I saw so many, like, not bad reviews. But, like, just saying they didn't connect with any of the characters in this book. And you know what? I agree. I didn't connect with any of them in this book. And I like almost DNF'd it. But I was just like, you know what? Like I was listening to it on Spotify. I was using my Spotify credits. And I was listening to it. And I just wasn't connected to any of the characters. I didn't really care what happened. And which is crazy because I love Emily Henry. And I've loved all of her books. But this one just didn't do it for me. And I don't know why. I wish it did. I wish I could have rated this 5 stars. Because I had so much hope for this book. And I couldn't even tell you the characters' names. I couldn't tell you. Harriet and Wynne. There we go. Yeah, no. I don't remember really anything about this book. I think they were like fiancés or whatever. Oh, they're lying through their teeth. Okay. They broke up 5 months. That's right. They broke their engagement up 5 months ago and were lying to their friends. Whatever. Happy Place. The next I read both Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Okay. Let's talk about Fourth Wing. I read this 5 stars. Loved it with all my heart. Zay. Like, I think about Fourth Wing all the time. I generally still think about everything that happens in this book. It's just, like, I want to be there. Like, I want to be there. I did a reading vlog about me reading Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and you know, you saw my reactions to it. But yeah, I really, really love this book. So once you read this book, you go into Iron Flame. And good fucking lord. Good lord, this book put me through it. I rated this one 5 stars. But looking, like, at the time I rated it 5 stars. Now, I mean, I'm still gonna rate it 5 stars. But I still think there could have been more. Because I felt like I was reading this entire book was plot building. And nothing happened with, like, Violet or Xaden. Like, they were fighting about the same thing the entire time. Where is the character development? It was not here. And I was like, why are we fighting over the same thing? Like, guys, what? Like, are we having, like, memory loss? Like, what's happening? But I still rated 5 stars because I still thoroughly enjoyed the book. That's the thing. Like, if I'm gonna read a book and I enjoy it, it's gonna be a 5 star. But, like, there could have been more. She wrote this book so fast, right after Fourth Wing. She should have waited. In the way it ended, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Let's not even talk about it. But, like, I need the next book, like, now. So, but these were my 2, like, books that I think about, like, generally every single day. And will force anyone and everyone to read this. I think everyone should. After that, I was like, I don't want to get into a reading slump because I know I will. So, and I've seen so many people talk about this book, about how it's really good for, like, getting out of reading slumps. So I was like, well, maybe it will prevent me from getting into a reading slump. And it did. The 7-Year Slip. I rated, what did I rate this? Oh, okay. I couldn't read my handwriting there for a second. I rated it 3.5. I know I rated it pretty low, but I did enjoy this book. I did. It was just a cute little rom-com. Nothing really happened. I mean, let me rephrase that. Things did happen, but, like, nothing, you know. Oh, the dog's barking. I'm back. Okay. Anyways, I rated this 3.5 stars. This follows Clementine and Ian, I think. Ian. And this, literally, the 7-Year Slip, it's in the name. So, like, this apartment, they say it's, like, magical. It is girly pop. It's magical. So, like, sometimes they'll, like, enter the apartment and they will be 7 years in the past or 7 years in the future. And she, like, Clementine walks into her apartment and lays down and goes to sleep and, like, wakes up and this man's in her kitchen. She's like, whoa, where did you come from? And he's like, like, I'm supposed to be staying here. She's like, she looks at the calendar, 7 years have passed. She's like freaking out because, girl, I would too. I would too. It's basically just her and his story, how they fall in love, and yeah. But he calls her Lemon. I'm sorry, but that's cute. Because her name's Clementine. Clementine. Please, like, I would suggest starting this book. Like, 3.5 stars, not a bad rating. I would recommend this book. Okay, we're back. How many times will this video get stopped? And I'm, like, trying to erase my camera dying. Anyway, what book was I on? Oh, okay. I don't have this book physically, but I'm gonna put it right here. It's Reckoning. It is the 3rd. If you remember last month, I read Downfall and Uprising, and it was like a spin-off, basically, to those 2 books. I rated this 3 stars, but now that I'm thinking about it, like, I would rate it 2.5. I don't remember the characters' names. I don't know. I'll look it up and put it on the screen. I don't remember. But it took me forever to read. It literally took me half the month to read that book. I just wasn't into it at all. And which is really sad. I was so excited for that book. And I couldn't tell you anything that happened. I just remember hating every second of it. I think I remember one thing he was using, like, he was manipulating her fears into getting what he wanted. And I was like, wow. This may be a dark romance, but like, that's a little something. But anyways, that was yeah. And then I read Powerless. Oh my god. Oh my god. This book, man. This book was a 5-star. I don't even know why I had to look down. I could tell you that. This book was 5 stars. I think about this book still to this day. I act like I didn't read it like 2 weeks ago, but like, I loved this book. Kai and Peyton, they didn't even, like, nothing happened, but everything happened. Yeah. Like, the tension that was in this book, like, it was crazy. And the way it ended, and you know, I ended this book and I was like, okay, second book, not even out, not until January. And I was like, what? So, if you read this book, just know that the second book is not out yet, and it's a trilogy, so the third book is not out either. So you get left with a cliffhanger. Like, you're like left. Yeah. So, if you haven't read this book and you want to read it, but you don't like being left to wait for another book, I would wait on reading this, but I would definitely read it eventually. Like, if you need to read this book. Okay. Like, I don't even I don't even tell you what this book, just read it. Just read it. Just trust me and read it. Thank you. That's all I gotta say. Okay. So, then I read Meeting Dr. Pragal. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's what Google Translate said. I did not like this book at all. Like, I rated it 3 stars. But I'm gonna change it to 2.5, maybe 2. This book, I read it pretty fast, yes. It's a small book, like, it's not too small, but it's a pretty small book. I couldn't tell you the characters' names. Dr. Noah, yeah, so there's Noah, and what's her name? Astra, that's her name. It follows Astra and Noah. Yeah. So that's all I know about the book. I need to start writing these things down so I don't forget, because I don't know. I know he's a vet. That's all I remember. And oh, she's an author. That's right. She's an author. Yeah, that's all I can tell you about this book. I don't recommend this book. And like, also, originally I was reading it on my Kindle and I could not stand how how it was formatted, and I was like, well, let me just buy the book. Turns out it's formatted like that, the same exact way on the book. I don't even know if it was focused, but no, absolutely not. And then I read Done and Dusted. Kicking my feet, screaming, this book was so good. I literally 4.5 stars. It was not a 5-star read, but it, like, first of all, look at the cover. Like, she's everything you want more. And she's floppy. This book was so damn good. Like, I'm sorry. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. And she did. Oh, okay. So this follows another Clementine, but they call her Emmy in the book. Emmy Ryder. And she, you know, she's a rodeo... What was the proper term? Let me not tell you wrong. I don't know the proper term. Oh, she rides horses. That's all it says in the back of the book. Her favorite thing is riding horses. But she has an accident, so she goes home. Goes back home to her ranch. I think it was Blue... What was it called? I think it was Blue Side Ranch or something like that. I could be wrong. No one come for me. Anyways, this is a, like, brother's best friend. So it's Emmy and Luke. And, oh my god. So he's like never thought of her as like anything other than, you know, the normal, like, oh, that's my best friend's little sister. She comes back into town, he's like, oh, damn, she's hot. Literally. I think straight up, hold on. Anyways, he says something like that, or along those lines. But, literally, I can't. I don't want to spoil this book, but please read it. Like, read it. Next book was... Oh, I didn't even write down that book in here. So I think... I didn't even write this down. But the next book I read was Bride. Literally love this book. I gave it 4 stars. This book was literally everything. Literally everything. I talk about, like, obsessed male character. That's literally him. This follows Misery. She is like a vampire. And she is basically, she gets married off to a werewolf, the alpha werewolf. They call them weres in the book, but she gets married off to him. So, yeah. And there is a, like, something's happening in this book. She's looking, the reason she marries him is she's looking for something, and she's trying to find it because she thinks he has it. So you're going through and you're reading and you're trying to find what he has, and you know, so, but this is like the definition of he's obsessed with her in every way that he possibly could be, is this book. That's okay. I'm back. It is an hour later. So it's an hour later. My camera did in fact die. So I don't remember what the last thing I was talking about. So I think it was Bride. I don't even know if I finished, but we're just gonna continue going. So the next book I read was Thrive. It is the 4th book in the Addicted series, but it's the 6th book in the Addicted / Calloway Sister. So read this book. I rated it 4 stars, but like, this book, if you have never read the Addicted / Calloway Sisters series, and I don't know if you can see right here. I don't know if you can. Right here. These are all the books I have currently. So this is the 6th book, and this follows everything that happened in Kiss the Sky and Hot House Flower, but it's in Lily and Lo's perspective. So basically what happened in those 2 books happened in this book. This book is, I think, takes place over 2 years and 5 months, I think. 2 years, 5 months, yeah. So yeah, so I can't really tell you anything that happens because, well, it's the 6th book. But yeah, and I have started Addicted After All, and I am only like 10% way like into that book. So But yeah, I'm just glad that I'm back in the universe because I've missed it. And like I forgot that what happened. And so reading this book, I was like, being like, oh, that did in fact happen, or oh my god, I remember what happened. And I kept going back, and I was like going back and like reading like from like
unknown caller.
Hold on. Okay, anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I would go back and like something would happen in this book, and so I would go back and like so if it took place in like Hot House Flower, I would go and read like it then, and then also like, you know, I would go back and forth because like, but this book was, I'm very excited to be back. The next book I read, I don't have the physical book because I gave it to my mom. It's called Unbreak Me. You can see right here. This book is a very tiny book. I think it had like 215 pages. It's like, okay, we'll come back to that. We'll come back. Anyways, I read Unbreak Me. This was, you know, tiny book, 215 pages. And the only reason I read this book was because my mom had bought this book from TikTok, and she saw this author had just like, she finally published it, and she was so excited or whatever. So my mom, you know, being a good little person she is, bought the book, and she was like, you can read it if you want. So I was like, okay, I'll read it. I read this maybe 3 days ago. I don't remember the characters' names. I don't remember. I rated it 2 stars. And I felt so bad. Like, the book had so much potential. I think it was Tyler. What's the girl's name? Hold on. Give me a second. I can tell you. Claire. Her name's Claire. So Claire and Tyler. I think she moves from New York to, I want to say Colorado. It doesn't say in the summary. I want to say it's Colorado. But she moves with her best friend after something happens. I don't know. It doesn't say. It doesn't say, so I'm not gonna tell you. Anyways, something happens, so she decides to move to Colorado. I think it's Colorado, don't know. And you know, things happen. She meets Tyler, whatever. The book had so much potential, and I felt like it just moved so fast for no reason. Like, we would be at a certain scene, and then, boom, another. I was like, whoa, where did we go? But yeah, it had so much potential, and you could tell it was her first book. I mean, I don't know. The last book I read this month, better than the movies. I finished this book last night, and oh my god, this book, why did I put off reading this book? It was so good. So good. This follows Liz and Wes. If I had their love story, I would love it. Like, I wish I had this in high school. But it's a young adult. So there's nothing happens. It's young adult. But it was the cutest little rom-com ever. So they make, I don't want to spoil it. Okay. So, I'm not going to spoil it if I say this. So, this guy that she grew up with, Michael, moves into town. And it's not a spoil, it's on the back of the book. Okay? He moves into town. Michael has been Liz's crush for literally forever. He moves into town. She's like, it's fate. This man is gonna be mine. The universe brought him back to me. And she sees that he's being friends with Wes, you know. Ding, 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 that's her golden opportunity because she wants to take Michael to prom, right? And she wants him to notice him. But he still sees her as little Liz. Oh no, what will happen? What? Oh, not the dogs. But basically, her and Wes strike up a deal. I mean, basically, if you know, you know. If striking up a deal, you know what the deal is. I'm not gonna say it, but common sense, mommy. Like common sense. What always happens. I'm sorry for the dogs barking. I don't have time. But yeah. This book is truly, truly fantastic. And at the beginning of every chapter, there is a quote from a rom-com movie. So that's so fun. That is all the books I read this month. So fun. Let me put them together so I can show you. Okay, let's attempt to. Okay. Give me a second. I read 12 books this month. It's a little heavy, so I'm gonna put it down. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching this video. I just moved. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed knowing about what I read this month. I read a lot more than I thought it was. I read almost every single book in my TBR except for one. I didn't read Love Letter to Whiskey, but that's okay. I'll eventually get to it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and if you like this video, leave a like, and you can subscribe to me if you want. If you don't want to, that's okay. I don't really care. Oh, I do care, but like, you know. I will be leaving all my social medias down below, and also a few of my videos that I think you might like. So, I will see you next time. Bye! Why didn't I think that through? Bye.